Hello there, people from YouTube. How you doing? Hope you're alright. I'm Alex, and today we're here to talk about something different than we started to talk about lately. And I put on this hat to celebrate the new coming 1989 era. And today we're here to talk about Taylor Swift, The Eras film. We went to the movies to watch it on Saturday night because we couldn't make it on Friday. I wanted to go on Friday, but I'm currently here in the Czech Republic, if you don't know, and where we live, it's a little bit hard to reach the cinema that was airing the movie, so we had to wait for Saturday. We went there on Saturday evening. I was a little bit disappointed they didn't have a poster or the cup or the popcorn bin, but I asked my mom and my sister in Italy if they could go to the cinema there and check if they can get it. Anyway, I wanted to talk about it with someone that likes Taylor Swift as much as I do, because I don't want to annoy the people that are around me, because I know they are not like super fans. Even if two of these people went to the cinema with me, they actually brought me there because if you don't know, in Czech Republic English is not the main language. They have their own language, and it's Czech language, which is not the easiest language to learn. I've been working on it for the past year. I'm not that bad, I guess, but I don't think I'm able to have a full conversation yet. So yeah, that would be a little hard for me. But anyway, these two people came with me, and I was so happy they actually decided to take half of their day to accompany me to the cinema to watch this. I wanted to talk about every era in the movie because, if you're watching this video, you're probably a Taylor Swift fan, or if you're not and you're just curious, I want to tell you that the movie is basically divided in the eras, and the first era is the Lover one. We have this super cool costume. I love the costume she was wearing in the Lover part, and my favorite song of the entire set for the Lover era was Cruel Summer, of course. And I noticed since she started singing it in the tour back when she started, that Cruel Summer jumped so high in the charts everywhere. And I remember when I listened to Lover the first time, I was a crazy fan already. I loved that song. It was probably one of my favorite out of the entire album with Cornelia Street, and those were basically my two favorite songs. But I was so happy when this song got what it was meant to be. She ends the Lover era with, of course, the main song in the album, which is Lover, that gives the album the name. And it was nice because she sang it on the guitar. It was really, really good. I enjoyed it a lot. After she finishes the Lover song, we have this nice little transition, and on the screen it appears the Fearless name. So we go from the Lover era to the Fearless era, that only has 3 songs, and they are, of course, Fearless, You Belong With Me, and Love Story, because I think that they are probably the most famous songs in the entire Fearless album. My favorite was Love Story because it was really, really nice. It was really emotional to hear it. I also liked the other two, of course, Fearless. It was cool because the people at the cinema, I was in the front row, but I could hear people in the back singing, and I'm not sure if someone showed their heart when she sang Fearless. I sure did. I did so many things. I've been on TikTok for a while, and I've seen videos of people saying this is what you should do when you go to see the Eras tour, and there's a few things that you have to do in certain songs, and the heart shape with your hands was one of the things that you were supposed to do during Fearless. So I did, because I felt like I needed to do it. It was something that just came so naturally, and I just had to do it. After the Fearless part, there's this change of scenery with this woods and all the trees and the lights changing, and they're going down, and they give you this kind of like autumn vibes. And that's when I noticed that we were going to switch to another era, and that era was going to be Evermore. She starts the Evermore part of the concert singing Willow, and I loved the dancing, and it was so cool with the balls. Dancers were holding a ball of fire in their hands and all the lights going on behind them. It totally felt like something was coming out of those balls, and it kind of felt magical too. Like she was dressed as a witch, in my opinion. Like that cape she was wearing, the green one, totally gave me witches vibes. And I don't know, for some reason it's something that I noticed even when I watched the Willow music video. But all that the part in the woods where she wears this cape and they're dancing in circles with these balls of light, it totally gave me, I don't know why, for some reason, gave me Charmed vibe. The Halloween episode of Charmed in season 3, it was the same vibe I got watching her perform Willow on the stage for the Eras tour. And I have to say that I liked this version of Willow live more than I liked the version that she had, I don't know, some award show she performed. I'm a little bit confused. Like, she's been in a lot of shows lately and she performed a lot too. So I think she performed Willow somewhere, but I just can't remember what it was. After Willow, we go to Marjorie. She starts singing this song that she wrote for her grandma. I was trying so hard not to cry because whenever she sings a song related to her parents, it happens to me with Marjorie and it happens to me with Timeless, I always end up tearing up because like it reminds me a lot of my grandparents. Like I lost my grandma not long ago, and Marjorie totally reminds me of that moment because like didn't have much time with my grandma because she died suddenly. We didn't expect that at all, so no one was expecting that. The part that makes me more emotional usually is the part where she says that she should have kept her grocery stores receipts or something that had her handwriting on, and that's totally something that always kills me when she sings it. And yeah, it was so good. At some point I started to see too many lights coming from the back, and I turned around and there were all these girls with the flashlight on their phones on, and I was like, okay, so we're doing this is something that people do when she sings Marjorie. They turn on the flashlight, and that's what we did. I didn't want to do it because I didn't think that people will go big for this concert, at least not here. I know that in the US it has been like huge. Like watching the movie in the US was basically like going to another concert, but I wasn't expecting it to happen here. So when I saw all the flashlights, like, okay, we're doing this, I'm gonna do it. I took my phone out of the pocket and held it up with the flashlight on for the entire song, and it was a beautiful moment, really emotional. I tried not to cry. I think that at least one tear came out. I couldn't keep it all in. From Marjorie, we switched to Champagne Problems, and she starts singing and playing the piano. I just couldn't wait for her to start singing the song because I knew it was going to happen from the moment she sat down in front of the piano. So she starts singing and she starts playing the piano, and it was so good. It was just beautiful. I love Champagne Problems. It was one of my favorite songs in the entire Evermore album. It was funny because the person that was sitting beside me was laughing at me because I was playing with my fingers on her leg, actually. So I was playing the melody with my fingers, and she was looking at me like, you even know the melody of the song, like every single thing, like you're crazy. And I'm like, yeah, well, Taylor Swift is a big thing. So yeah, I know every melody of every song. So yeah, it was really nice, and she was really great. I loved the song. I loved the performance. Same as Tolerated. It was so good to see what she actually sings portrayed on stage with the table and her trying to lay the things how she sings in the song, and it was so cool to see it live. After the Evermore era, we go to the Reputation era, and I seriously can't wait for Reputation Taylor's version, but that is another story. She starts singing Ready for It, and I felt like at this moment, still in the theater, in the cinema that we went to, there wasn't much craziness going on. People were sitting, singing, not too loud, but like singing quietly. I was singing in my head because I was scared to annoy the other people that were behind me, because like I said, they were not going crazy about this. Even if I thought that the Reputation part would start the craziness, it didn't happen. But yeah, we get to Ready for It, and it was absolutely amazing. Like, I thought that the place would start screaming and singing the Reputation songs. It was a bit of a shame that it didn't happen. And then Delicate was also super cool. And I also liked for the Reputation, I think it was the Reputation part where she had the lightning on the stage, and she, like when she stomped her foot on the stage, the lightning were going off. I think it was the Reputation one, but I'm not too sure right now. My favorite song was, of course, Don't Blame Me, because it's like one of my favorite songs in the entire Reputation album, and it was so good. And then transition from Don't Blame Me to Look What You Made Me Do, it's probably the best transition I've ever heard in every concert I've seen of her. Like, I've never been to a concert of hers live. Like I said, the transition from Don't Blame Me to Look What You Made Me Do was the best thing in the Reputation part. I also want to say that the change of scenery, or the change of era from Evermore to Reputation, was amazing. Like, there was this giant snake that was going around the stage. It was so beautiful, and in 3D, I think, like, they did really great with the visuals and stuff. It was crazy how good it was, the transition from Evermore to Reputation with this snake. It was so good. And then we change and we go to the Speak Now era, which I want to talk about a little bit, because like it didn't have enough space, and I think that, I mean, in my opinion, Speak Now should have more credit. I know she loves the album, like she loves it, of course, like it's her work, and she wrote it completely by herself, but Speak Now doesn't get enough credit, and just one song, it wasn't enough. Like, I started to like Speak Now mostly now that she re-recorded, because I didn't really listen to it. I became a fan after 1989, so I came too late for this to leave the Speak Now era, but I lived in the Speak Now era, Taylor's version, and it was good, even if it lasted not that long. Like, for example, Fearless, Taylor's version, or Red, Taylor's version lasted. So I would like to spend a little time talking about Enchanted, which is the only song in the Speak Now era. It was something that I don't know, I enjoyed it a lot, because like Enchanted is my niece's favorite song. She loves the dress she wears during the song, because I showed her pictures from people that went to the concert, and I showed her videos on TikTok, and she fell in love with the dress, because she looked at Taylor performing Enchanted, and she was like, oh, look at that, she looks like a princess, and she's into princesses. So Enchanted was a special moment for me, because it reminded me of my niece that's back at home in Italy. So yeah, I took a picture of her singing Enchanted with the beautiful princess dress and sent it to my sister to show to my niece, because I knew that she would she would love it. And then we have this nice transition with all the balloons going on the screen, the red balloons, and of course we switch to the red era. And 22 is the first song she sings, and it was absolutely crazy. And I loved the moment she took the hat off and gave it to Kobe Bryant's daughter. And it was so nice. Like, Kobe Bryant is probably my second favorite basketball player after Michael Jordan, and it was so nice to see Bianca there on the screen receiving the hat from Taylor. I saw the video on TikTok and Instagram. People put it on Instagram and TikTok. I saw it when it happened, and it really made me emotional. I think I cried a little bit when I saw her giving Bianca the hat. And then she sings We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together, and that was also cool. It's probably like one of the most known songs of her. Like I Know You Were in Trouble. These are probably the most known songs from the Red album. And then the queen of all the songs came on and did All Too Well 10 minutes version. And I have to say that I heard people singing it from minute 0 to minute 10 and 13 seconds, and I was one of them, like all of them. And I had to do the fuck the patriarchy thing, because like you have to, like you're sitting there watching her sing All Too Well 10 minutes version, and what do? You don't sing the fuck the patriarchy thing? Of course you do. It's like the law, you have to. So I did, and it was so cool. Enjoyed it. I loved it. From Red, we transitioned to Folklore, and honestly, Folklore is my favorite between Folklore and Evermore, the two Pandemic albums. The first song she sings from Folklore is The One, which is super cool. And if you're not like a big Taylor Swift fan, you don't know that song, because like usually people that like Taylor Swift maybe like her because they hear songs on the radio, and at least here in Europe, or at least in my country, in Italy, they don't air much Taylor Swift on the radio. Unfortunately, it's something that's starting to change with the Midnights album. They started to put her songs more on the radio. Anyway, she starts singing The One, and then transitions to Betty, and I loved it that she started to talk about it, and how she started to write this song about 3 teenagers and the love affair, how she wrote this album completely thinking about fictional characters, and that was really cool. The last Great American Dynasty was awesome. I loved the dresses of the dancers, like dressed like in the 50s, with these giant ball dresses and stuff like that. It was so cool. Reminded me a lot of The Great Gatsby also. And then we have this moment where she's alone on the stage, and she starts singing August, that I have to say is like one of the favorite in the Folklore album, and I loved it. She looked like a fairy coming from a fantasy world with that white dress and all the things going on in on the sleeves of her dress and stuff, dancing around. It was so beautiful, and it was so good to see it for real and not just through a video on TikTok. I mean, it's not like I didn't see it for real because it was still on a screen, but bigger. I loved the addition she did from August to Illicit Affair. Illicit Affair is also one of my favorite songs in Folklore, and I loved it. The emotion she put while she was singing the bridge of Illicit Affair was crazy good. I don't know, like you could see the emotion and how much she felt it while she was singing it. And then she sings My Tears Ricochet, and then I have to say that the visuals of this song were probably my favorite of the entire concert, with the sea, the mini tornado in the sea with the ship sinking, and then that hole turned into an eye, and the eye turned into the hole again in the sea, and it was just gorgeous. After the folklore era, we switched to the 1989 one, and there people started to go crazy. I started to hear people bumping their feet on the floor, and I started to hear people going crazy, screaming. They were running down the steps, and they went all in front of the screen in this space between the first row and the screen, and they started to sing like crazy the songs from 1989. And I wasn't expecting that, because like I said, I was expecting something like that to happen in the Reputation era, but it happened in the 1989, and I totally didn't expect that. They didn't do it in the Reputation era. They're not gonna do it at all. We're just going to sit here singing quietly to ourselves, and no one is going to go crazy. But the moment the 1989 came on the screen, people started to go crazy, and it was so beautiful. Like, I've never seen anything like that happening ever. Like, it's not my first concert at the cinema. I've never been to a real concert, unfortunately, but it's not the first one I've seen at the cinema, and it never happened that so many people started to go crazy and run around the entire room and screaming and crying, dancing, and it was absolutely the coolest thing ever. And from that moment on, then everyone let out a breath and started to sing. Everyone was singing, everyone was dancing, Style was screamed out loud, Blank Space, Shake It Off was crazy. Like, everyone was singing. Bad Blood was the one that really blew everything. Bad Blood was crazy good. And then we had the surprise song set, that we had our song, which was pretty cool. And I was surprised that even the little girls knew the song. And then we had You're on Your Own, Kid, and it was absolutely crazy. I had goosebumps for the entire song, and I saw the kids that were still in front of the screen acting like they were at the actual concert. They had friendship bracelet. They raised their hands, showed their friendship bracelet. It was crazy good. It was emotional. You're on Your Own, Kid is one of my favorite songs out of Midnight, and that transitions perfectly into the Midnight's era, which is the last one, where we have as a first song Lavender Haze. It was really, really good. The change of her clothes, the how she did it, like the transition, the dive, it was absolutely crazy. I was so curious to see the dive, even if it happened like probably 2 hours before, but whatever. Lavender Haze was cool. I love the t-shirt she wears during the song, and the jacket, like all the furry jacket. Not my favorite thing, but the t-shirt she has, like the maxi t-shirt she wears under it, was super, super good. And I think it's probably one of my favorite outfits for the entire tour. And then we have Antihero, and people were crazy about it too. Like, they started to sing Antihero. It was so good. Midnight Rain, I didn't expect so many people to know Midnight Rain. Like, it's kind of underrated in my opinion. I mean, it's a pretty cool song, probably the shortest one she has in the entire Midnight album, but it was so good, and I didn't expect so many people to know it. Then we go to Vigilante Shit, that it was mind-blowing. It was so good, Vigilante Shit. I've been waiting for the entire concert to see that performance, and she did so good. She is awesome. Like, she knows how to dance, she knows how to sing, she knows how to play the guitar, she knows how to entertain you. She's basically the perfect artist. And then we go to Bejeweled. Bejeweled was crazy. Also, I don't know how many times I said crazy, but that's what it is. It's a Taylor Swift concert. You're supposed to go crazy. And then, yeah, like I was saying, we had Bejeweled, and I saw the people, like the girls in the front, singing and dance, with the TikTok dance that she also did in her performance, and it was so cool seeing all these people acting out. As you expect probably from a Taylor Swift concert. And then we have Mastermind, and I was surprised to to hear it because I wasn't expecting her to perform Mastermind. I tried not to spoil too much of the entire set list, both for the movie and in general for the concert, because I'm trying to get the tickets to go see her live in Italy next year. Me and my cousin are trying to get the tickets, so I don't want to spoiler it too much. Even if I watch the movie, but seeing her live is, I'm sure it's going to be something else entirely, so that doesn't count. And then as the last song, we have Karma, that I think was the perfect ending of the concert. It's just the perfect song to close the concert with, and it was so good. I loved it. I love the backup singers. I love the background dancers, and they were so good. They were absolutely amazing. Every single dancer was spot on. Anyway, the dancers were perfect. The choreographies were absolutely crazy. The backup singers were amazing. The band was so good, and I'm so happy she never changed them because they work perfectly together. And then the movie ends with, like I said, with Karma. And after that, after the movie ends, we get this credits. We have the credits, and during the credits we can hear Long Live. And I'm a little bit disappointed we didn't get to see her performing the song in the concert. I was expecting Speak Now to have a little more space, but that's okay. Anyway, all in all, I would give 10 to the movie because I'm a hard Swiftie. I'm happy I got to experience it, and with all the people there singing and dancing, having fun, and not caring about anything or anyone. It was like being at her concert for real, and I would love to experience it next July in my country. This is all for this video. Let me know in the comments if you went to the cinema to watch the Taylor Swift Eras movie, or let me know also if you went to see her live in a concert and how it was. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about it. And yeah, that's all. Let me know everything you want. Just leave a comment, give this video a like if you liked it, subscribe, and we'll see each other in another video. Bye!